Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Broomstick, that podcast that educates and enlightens you about the opportunities that spiritualism can bring to you and removes the woo-woo that's been put there by the New Age group. As spirituality has been around for thousands and thousands of years and really has no restraints. Today's episode is going to be all about shadow work, manifesting, affirmations, all of those things that are going to help you move forward in a positive light and explain to you how the universe hears everything, whether you say it out loud or whether you think it. The universe are listening. And I'm here to remind you that you are the magic that can make things happen. But first of all, I'm going to thank all of my new Patreon supporters. If you don't know about my Patreon, the link will be in the show notes. Patreon is a great platform that allows me to be a little bit more open and explain a little bit more in depth about various topics and subjects. And this is purely because social media is limiting us creators' ability to talk freely. We're being shadow banned, we're being reported, and always by people that haven't done their shadow work. How interesting is that? That's a nice loop that I've only just thought of. So, without much more ado, I'm going to thank you all for your support. I really do appreciate it. Things are starting to pick up over there now that I have a little bit more time. I am a little bit more restrained at the moment because I have broken 2 bones or 2 toes in my left foot. I did that whilst I was in Sydney doing in-person readings, and I am a bit of a klutz, but I won't be able to be out and about for a little while, and I have to wear a very attractive boot on my foot. Anyway, my lovely Patreon supporters this week are Angela Picchio, Nicole Piotrowicz, and I'm so sorry, Nicole. I know that I've buggered that up. I apologise. Sharon Brewer, and Sharon, you have joined Patreon twice. You may want to check that out with Patreon because I'm sure you didn't mean to. And Eli G and Kim Brown, thank you for your support, the trust you put in me, and I'm really looking forward to building that amazing community over on Patreon and on Discord. The link will be in my show notes, so pop along if you have an interest in that. And I will be uploading some videos this week, really talking about the future of US politics and what I've been shown coming in, especially around the undoing of the Republican Party. So that should be interesting for all of those people that have asked that question on a very regular basis. So today's topic is all about manifesting and why for some people it works really well, and for other people they really struggle and complain why their manifesting isn't working. As we have seen on social media, there are so many pages, there's courses, there's information, there's people talking about the law of attraction, the law of assumption, the secret, the just the plain old manifesting, and really not talking about the bare bones of what you need to do on a personal basis to make sure that you have the best opportunity for your manifestation work to happen for you. The bottom line is, and it's very, very simple, it is around the fact that the universe hears absolutely everything that you say. Whether you say it out loud, as in asking for something, or whether you say it under your breath, whether you say it in your head, all of that is going out to the universe. And my God, wouldn't you get confused if the universe heard everything you had going on in your head? Be going, what the hell does she want? She says she doesn't deserve it. She's doubting her ability, but she's asking for it. And I'm putting these opportunities in front of her, but she's not taking them. That's basically what's going on. For instance, we're going to talk about Tracy. Tracy lives in London. Tracy speaks on TikTok all the time about how great manifesting is. She's read The Secret. She's read various books about getting what she wants. She's done the work. And she says, I wanted $1,000 last week and I asked the universe for $1,000. And you know what? This week I've got $1,000. But what I did to get that $1,000 was sell something because I saw that somebody needed it and I didn't need it. So that was what the universe put in her pathway so that she had that $1,000. But the other part of it is that Tracy's done the work. Tracy's told herself every day how great she is, how deserving she is, how worthy she is. She's worked on her insecurities and she's done her shadow work. That's why Tracy's manifesting is working. Where Gladys is over in California and she's, really struggled. She's had a couple of really bad relationships and she's now really sad that she doesn't date anymore. And she's saying to the universe, well, I really want a partner. And she keeps saying, I want a partner. I'm manifesting a partner. Why is that partner not coming in? Well, Tracy stopped dating. And she stopped dating because her insecurities on her past relationships got the better of her. And the fear of being rejected again stopped her from dating. But that doesn't mean that she stopped wanting to date. She's just not taking the opportunity to date because her fear has got in her way. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about shadow work, which I believe is the basis for good manifesting health. Because I would like to say that we all get exactly what we want. But if we don't believe in what we want, if we don't believe in ourselves, then we cannot expect anybody else, including the universe, to believe in us. There is so much truth in the belief that we should practice self-love. And I know many people out there, and I've been in this situation. I am not going to lie about this. I felt, I'm going back many, many years, that I was unloved and unlovable. And it stemmed from difficult relationships, not necessarily romantic relationships, family relationships, friendships, the way I allowed other people to treat me. I just believed that's what I was worth because that's how people treated me. Once I started doing my shadow work and believing in myself, my life turned around. And part of that shadow work was to release the fear of judgment of others. I read something the other day that I found incredibly interesting. And it probably comes from a philosopher, but I cannot find who it came from. And it said that our ability to grow as a person is directly correlated with our ability to hear the truth about ourselves. And sometimes we don't want to hear that. It's really hard when we're sitting in a place of want and need and we're looking externally for those validations and that love and that positivity, and we're basing our life on how somebody else treats us. So by doing what's called our shadow work, which is basically working on our insecurities and our self-love, which is, I know that sounds really wanky and people go, but I want someone else to love me. How do I find self-love? Self-love is about reminding yourself every single day how fabulous you are. Now, I do want to caveat this by saying I know there's a lot of people out there that have experienced trauma. And childhood trauma and things that have happened to them that I cannot even understand. And I am not a psychologist. I'm here from a place of spirituality. What I'm not saying is that we forget what happened, or we sweep it under the carpet, or we don't deal with it. What I am saying is that there are steps that you can take in order for you to try and work in a way that past trauma isn't going to affect the rest of your life when you're looking at manifesting. And that's an important thing to note. As I say, I have no psychological training whatsoever. All I can give you is the experience that I've lived and what I've learnt by working with spirit for many years. Our shadow work is the basis of us growing and believing in ourselves. And once we learn to address that, then we can start looking at manifesting. If you try and manifest before you actually believe that you are worthy of something good, then it's just not going to work for you. If we look at our insecurities around various things in our life, a lot of them are based on fear, and that's fear of change, fear of failure, fear of being rejected. And if we turn that inwards and start our affirmations, which are daily things that we can say to ourselves to build ourselves up, then our subconscious and what we're saying and our self-talk is going to be positive, and it's going to reflect externally for others to see and the universe to hear that we finally believe that we are worthy of these things that we are looking for. So saying to ourselves on a daily basis, I am worthy. I am worth the effort. And that's the effort from other people, as well as the effort that you need to make. I am amazing. I am talented. I am beautiful. All of those things that counteract our insecurities and reminding ourselves that we are deserving then gives the message to the universe that when we're asking for our manifestations to come in, they can then start putting things in our place for us to take the positive steps for them to happen. For instance, if you're looking for a job, and you're reminding yourself on a daily basis that you are worth the effort, you are capable, you are clever, you can do this job, then the universe will start dropping signs in your pathway for you to take the opportunity. Things don't fall out of the sky. I wish they did, but they don't. It may seem like it sometimes for some people, but unfortunately that's not the way it works. We actually have to take positive steps for things to happen. And the universe, once they start hearing that you believe you're worthy, that you're getting over those fears, or you're working on those fears, that fear of rejection, that fear of being judged, that fear of not believing in yourself, once the universe hears you telling yourself on a daily basis, building up your self-esteem and giving yourself that self-love, then they will put things along your pathway for you to take the opportunity. The opportunities are placed there. It's not something that you just have to walk around blindly and expect to happen, but you have to see the signs. And when you're living in a place of fear, you don't see those signs and you don't grasp the opportunities. So that is how our shadow work gets worked on, and then we do our affirmations, and then the universe will hear us and we will start saying, I want a new car. I want a new job. I would like a relationship. And then those things will be started to drop. But you have to take the positive steps. There's another tool that a lot of people find very useful. And that tool is the law of assumption. Now, the law of assumption is about living in the end result. So again, we need to be doing our shadow work. We need to be working on our affirmations to counteract our shadow work or to counteract our insecurities. And when we've done that, we can start believing that we've actually got the things that we're manifesting. For instance, if you are manifesting a new job and you can say to yourself on a regular basis every day, more than once a day, I am so grateful to be in a job and career that I love. Simple as that. And that's then you believing that you have what it is you're looking for. And I've seen amazing results with that. And it's always really gratifying when I watch my clients' self-esteem grow and their belief that the love that they need really comes from themselves. Many people for many years allow others to treat them badly. And the reason they do that is because they don't believe they are worth more. And they also have this fear of rejection. What if I say to this person, I don't like the way you treat me, and they leave me? Well, what if they do? What if they leave you? Then you've no longer got somebody that's treating you badly. And I always say the trash takes itself out. But I like the saying that water finds its own level, where you have to have somebody rise up to your needs and your expectations rather than drop your expectations to match what someone is willing to give to you. And that, again, is once you've done that shadow work, you won't care who leaves or comes in and out of your life if they are treating you badly, because you will then learn and know how much more you deserve. There's many ways that people react in a bad way. And some of that is, and I see it constantly, people that say things on social media, whether it's commenting on my videos or other people's videos, and it's this negative twist on it. That's about them. It's not about you. And it's not about them wanting to make you feel bad. It's purely about them wanting to feel better about themselves by having some power. And the realization that you are the most powerful person in your life is so freeing. So let's recap. If you're wanting to manifest, whether that is drawing your or making up your dream board, whether it's putting out your requests to the universe, whether it's living in what I call the law of assumption, which is, for those of you that don't know, if you want to believe that something's coming in, we, at the end of the day or during the day, you can say things like, I am grateful for the fantastic job that I have. I am grateful for the career opportunity that I have. And it's believing that you already have that thing that you're manifesting. All of these things will work and work in a positive way for you once you start believing that you deserve them. And to start believing that you deserve them, you need to work on your shadow work that is based around your insecurities and things that trigger you. Don't be a person that holds on to negativity because it doesn't serve you. Remembering that the universe hears everything you put out and everything that you say, whether it's internally or externally. And you have to have those messages aligned, but you also need to take positive action for things to happen. When the universe puts possibilities or opportunities in your pathway, and you've worked on your shadow work and you feel positive and ready, that's when you can start grabbing those things. Because when we live in a place of doubt, we are going to doubt everything that is put in our way. And we doubt our ability to do it. Really learning and taking the time to learn about yourself and become incredibly self-aware on what your doubts are, what your positive sides are, and reminding yourself. And the old adage that you need to love yourself is really important, because it helps us set boundaries. It helps us settle for what we deserve rather than settling for less than we deserve, because we don't believe that we are entitled to fantastic things. It is a mindset thing, but a reminder that the universe hears everything and spirit will hear you is just such a powerful thing to adopt. And remembering that you are the magic. You are so powerful, and your thoughts are powerful, that once you turn those thoughts to positive thoughts, it will help. Now, we're not talking about toxic positivity and being positive about negative things that are happening. It's about being positive that you deserve the best. And that is where you can change your whole perception of yourself and how other people perceive you, because people don't know what they don't know. If you keep allowing people to treat you badly because it's what you think you deserve, if you stay in that nasty job, that toxic job, if you stay in an unhappy situation, it's always because you don't feel like you deserve better. And often people will repeat lessons and repeat situations until they finally get that they are the one that's making the power. They are the ones that are able to make the magic. And, you know, it's as basic as that song, that Miley Cyrus song, Flowers, that she learned to love herself instead of waiting for someone else to love her. And it is as simple as that, and it sounds really wanky, but it really does make you feel good about yourself. And other people that want to make other people feel bad, that want to make nasty comments, that want to bring toxicity to situations, it's all about them. And when we realize that, you know, that's on them, how they behave is a reflection on who they are, and the lack of work and the lack of self-awareness, then we can move away from that and say, well, instead of saying, like some people have done in the past, well, they treat me like that because that's all I deserve. And we say, well, they treat me like that because that's on them. That's their issue. And that's how the universe works. We learn our lesson, and spirit will stop putting that lesson in front of us. If we feel incredibly uncomfortable, as if we need change, as if we've got to do something to change, that's the universe's way of showing you that you have to start moving in the right direction for you. They will often make you feel really uncomfortable in your own skin, and that's your sign that you are ready to move in a new direction. If you are living in a way that is not authentic to you, or how the universe or how spirits see you should be living authentically, they will often pull the rug from under your feet. That's how we learn our lessons. So remember that spirit and universe see everything and hear everything. There is no hiding. And more importantly, there is absolutely no hiding from yourself. All you have to do is take the time to sit in your energy, really reflect and think about your behavior and how you feel about yourself. And that's when you can start doing your affirmations in order to add that positivity. I see very often that people will grab onto ideas or ideals regarding spirituality, especially around the new age spirituality. And if you've known me for a long time or watched me for a long time, you will know that I find the new age ideal really exhausting. Spirituality has been around forever. And suddenly coming up with different dimensions or ascensions, etc., is really just a cult-like thought pattern that's taking advantage of vulnerable people. Spirituality is for everybody. To move on in your life, it's about self-reflection and being honest with yourself about what you need to address in order to feel more comfortable. It's not about turning to other people or other organizations for the answers. Anyone that's had a reading with me will know that I say, first of all, aside from mediumship, which is mediumship, there's no deviation on that. Mediumship is mediumship. But when you are having a psychic reading with me, Spirit will never give you the answers. What they are going to do is give you the tools to find the answers for yourself. That's where true self-belief, growth, and power comes from. You finding the answers and working on yourself. And once you really believe how powerful you are, that's when the growth can happen. So I hope that's helped and I hope it's been interesting. But remember, reflecting on yourself, working on your shadow work, affirmations will all help you move forward and help those manifestations happen. So another thing that's been requested of me is to talk about previous readings. So I'm just going to talk about one today because it's really intriguing and it really explains a little bit how Spirit can work in mysterious ways. As I've said many times, Spirit won't give you the answers, but they will help you find them. This reading was done, I think, around 8 or 9 years ago, and I had this lovely lady come to me, and she was in the middle of quite a contentious divorce. And her partner had been hiding money, shall we say, but she had no idea where. And the big thing to remember is that Spirit have no idea about financial things. They're not going to give you numbers. They're not going to tell you the answer. They're not going to tell you how you can make money, but they'll give you the tools in order for that to happen. And this woman was saying, like, I just want to know, am I on the right track? And I started talking about a house and describing a house. And I had to give her exactly as it was given to me. And she said, oh, that's his grandmother's house. That's down at the beach. That's got nothing to do with it. I don't think he had anything financial with that house. And she actually went ahead and did like a title search to see if her ex's name was on it or if he'd put money into it. And she'd been working with like special financial people to find information. And she came back a couple of months later and she said, is there anything else? Because, you know, the house isn't in his name. And I described a room in the house and that was it. She put the pieces of a puzzle together. She went to the grandmother and asked to borrow the house at the beach for a week to take her children down. And in the room that I described, she found a load of financial documents. It was a great win for her, and she found all of that and was able to pass it on to her lawyers, etc. And she had quite a positive outcome to that. But that's how spirit work. It's really interesting how they will put pieces of a puzzle together in order for us to find the answers out for ourselves. And we just have to keep a really, really open mind on that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget, you can find me on TikTok, where I do regular predictions and spiritual talk, and on Patreon, YouTube, and Instagram. All of the links are in today's show notes. Thank you again. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all soon.